What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back today with more Damachi. Now, today we're going to be talking about the latest heroic trial, and this is going to be a fun and interesting one, because as we know here, this heroic trial basically requires either well, it doesn't require, but it prefers either a water team or a dark team. Now, there are a couple other teams you could probably use here, because I'm going to be totally honest with you. If you use your regular water team, you're going to crush this in about 4 to 5 turns. This is stupid easy. Hilariously easy. So to give myself a bit of a challenge, I'm going to try to S-clear it with this team. Now, this team is kind of a hodgepodge. It's not a great team. It's not well put together. But we get some pretty fast SA gauge charging because we've got both Line on the front for the 33%. We've got the 33% from Finn on the assist side. And, of course, I get the 110%, I should say, from this Eyes, 111% from this Eyes on Bell. So we're going to get some pretty fast SA gauge charging. Now, we could get a little faster. There's ways to improve this. But basically, the long and the short of this here is we're just going to try to get really fast SA gauge charging and try to S-clear this bad boy with a team that really has no right S-clearing much of anything. But I believe they can do it. So we're going to kick this off with, like I said, SA gauge charge with Line. And everyone else is just going to do skill 1 for their general buff stack. Pretty easy stuff, pretty normal, pretty straightforward. Okay? Now, there's a reason we're covering this before the EX missions, and I'll get to that at the end of this. But let's go ahead and get through this before we do much of anything else. I am going to go ahead and do the all-in single target. It won't really matter too much, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, just because, well, she's the unit that I have up here. Now, we could do skill 1 to get a little bit of, HP regen out, but I don't think I have anybody on here that actually does an AoE debuff. Yeah, nobody here really does an AoE debuff. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, we also don't have any debuffs applied, so, well, skill 2 is kind of pointless. We're going to jump right into skill 3, which on him is a not only a percentage-based attack, but is an AoE percentage-based attack. So it's very, very nice. And then, of course, we're going to do skill 2 with Bell. Now, basically, every unit that we have here, aside from Winnie, obviously, is going to spam these attacks. These are going to be their main attacks going forward. Now, I am a little concerned here about Eyes. Eyes is in a bad state. I would have preferred if Wealth had gotten that attack. Hopefully we survive this, but we're right now in a situation where most of the debuffs are going to kind of phase out here shortly. So normally we would do Dawn Wind. I'm going to go ahead and do this, because we need a lot of those debuffs. I mean, they're going to be really, really, really important. The all unit, the one unit, physical resist, ailment resist, all that good stuff. Basically, everything... Did I say ailment resistance? Anyway. Basically, everything they have on them will expire if we don't take care of it. And in fact, the more I think about this, there's not really much to do here. Yeah. So, water resistance down 25%. So, you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and do Dawn Wind, because we do need the SA gauge charge. We need all that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And the only thing that I really think we're going to lose here is the all-unit resistance. That does, unfortunately, suck. I would prefer not to lose that, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world here. So long as we can reapply all the water resistance debuff and all that good stuff, I think we'll be pretty good. So yeah, let's continue that there. That's a little change from what I did before, but I think that little tiny change will be just fine. Let's go ahead and do Dawn Wind, only because we do need the healing. We do definitely need, and of course Eyes died. So let's try this one more time. That was unfortunate. There's not a whole heck of a lot we can do about a situation like that. and that would negate the S clear. But that's also because these units are +1. They're not, they're not fully hero ascended. And she took an extra hit that we really wouldn't have foreseen. So we could have, we definitely could have cleared this, but I'm really going for an S clear with this team. So let's go ahead and reattempt this and see where we get. Now, one kind of thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and do the HP regen. Only reason I'm going to do that is because, as I saw last time, the AoE debuff actually phased out before we could do much about it. So I really kind of feel like maybe having the HP regen is going to give us a slight advantage here. So let's go ahead and do that. Do skill 2, skill 3, and then skill 2 again. Remember, his skill 2 is rather pointless, so we're going to do skill 3. We don't have any debuffs that are applied that we need to remove, so we're just going to go straight at this. And the HP regen is actually going to then kind of save our butts on that turn. Okay, so we'll do Dawn Wind again. Everybody else will do their big attack, with the exception of Belle, who will do the water resistance debuff again. We need to reapply the water resistance debuff because we're not going to do any debuff replication until next turn. And now that Harahime is here, we're actually getting counter heals, so now healing and all that stuff isn't going to be a problem. So we're going to go ahead and do skill 3. A lot of debuffs did drop off, but the important ones are still here. Now, I do kind of wish we had a physical resistance debuff, but it is what it is. It's not the biggest thing ever. Now, they do have an AoE buff, but as you'll see here, it's not really going to be that big of a deal. We're going to go ahead and work up to a double SA. Now, it is turn 4, so anyone that has an extra action will need to reapply that, and that pretty much is only Welf, I believe. Does Welf even have one? Yeah, he does. He has a low water. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll reapply that and kind of move on. Now, the little bit of extra damage is going to make a difference. I know it doesn't really seem like it is, but it actually will make a decent amount of difference in the overall scheme of things. Now, turn 5, double SA. We're going to have to do double SA with Harahime. That's going to give everyone 120% strength and magic. That's a big buff that everybody's going to need. And this is going to give everybody else 80% water attack damage. Now, we have some units that have a little bit more than that. We have some units that have a little bit less. This is basically going to make sure that everybody's doing absolutely crazy damage from this point going forward. And that's going to be really important. Now, Eyes isn't really going to hit very hard here. Which shouldn't even do 200,000. But as you'll notice, they're really going to start falling apart at this point. And, everything's just going to kind of come together. Now, let's see. We got 2 additional actions here on Dawn Wind. So we're going to go ahead and do skill 3. I'm going to go back to doing skill 2 here, skill 3, and skill 2. And at this point, basically, all we're going to do is spam attacks. That's pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to have to rebuff Dawn Wind at some point, but we're going to be all about spamming attacks. Notice that now we're down to single target. So we can actually do some single target attacks here. We could just really go crazy on this one at this point. Okay, so we can rebuff Dawn Wind because we got 1 turn left on that. Remember, when it's 1 turn left, we got to rebuff it. Let's see if we have some percentage boosts. Let's see, that's a super water physical attack. So yeah, let's do the super class attack. He only has AoEs, but it's percentage based, so it's going to be very good. And once again, super class, but it is single target. So yeah, let's see what happens here. Now, you will see that we're building up a SA. I'm going to go ahead and let that kind of build up, see if we can get a second SA on turn 9, because turn 9 is where we're really going to have to finish this up. All right, we're doing pretty good here. We do not have a double SA, but we're doing pretty respectable. Now, let's see. Physical resist down 20%. So we're going to go ahead and just replicate debuffs just in case we have to go one more turn. Let's see. Who's going to do a bigger attack? This is Ultra Water with no percentage boost. Yeah, I think we're going to do Wealth here because the other 2 have a single target attack. Wealth does allies magic resist and physical resist. strength and magic and physical resist and magic resist plus 50%. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But he also gets a great magic boost, so I think this is going to be a bigger hit than anyone else will be able to provide. I know Eyes in this situation does about 250k. If he does like 400k, I'll be ecstatic. 260. Ah, man. That's unfortunate. But the single target attacks did land, and we went ahead and finished them up. So absolutely perfect. That will meet all the qualifications for our S clear, even though we had that little flub earlier. Don't be afraid of that. Once you've got this S clear, then of course you can go in here and you can use your skip tickets to fill in the rest of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and do 10 of my skip tickets. I'll need to reapply those. And let's go. So now I'm right at the perfect amount to get my bond. That's absolutely stellar. I'm ecstatic about that. Couldn't be happier. Now, which bond am I going to go after here? Now, this is a fun and interesting one, okay? So, normally I say the assist. I always say the assist is going to be your better value on this. But I'm going to be honest with you. For what we're going to be doing in the EX missions, I really kind of feel like Thilly Lily is going to be a good application. Now, the biggest downside to her, I don't know how long she's going to be awesome. She hits like a truck, but she grenades herself. All of her buffs, debuffs, and everything that she does, she debuffs herself. Everything she does turns her into a glass cannon. So if you do this, understand, I really feel like, honestly, her usage is going to dry up fairly quickly. So I like this unit. I would love to recommend this unit, but I really don't know if I do. So that situation, I might go back to the assist. I really might. Because remember, assists are just a lot easier to come by. Let's go ahead and look at Ryu. Because I honestly don't remember what they do, to be totally frank with you. So, let's go down here to Ryu. Max her out. Okay. Ultralight physical attack with light magic damage. 70% per each target's magic resistance. Debuff skill. That is going to be a crazy good attack. Allies magic and light attack damage plus 80%. She is phenomenal. But you've got to have a light team to go with her. So if you've got a light team, she'll be an amazing, amazing, amazing asset. Let's go ahead and go to our assists here real quick. All right. There she is. Fine? I believe that's how she pronounces her name. Physical resist, guard rate plus 20%, 30% HP regen. This will be really, really, really good for Wargame, but outside of Wargame, I don't see a lot of value. So I'm going to be honest, I think Ryu is the better value of all of them, but you pretty much have to have a light team for it. Though, if you are a Wargame main, I feel like she's going to be the best bang for the buck in Wargame. So take that as you see it. Thilly Lily, I think, is going to get you pretty far in the EX mission, but the biggest issue with her is I don't know how much use she's going to have past that, because she does turn herself into an absolute glass cannon. So as much as I want to recommend her, I really have a very hard time with it. I think Ryu's probably the smart money, though, once again, if you are Wargame, I think she's wise as well. So there you go. There's my input. I'm going to get Thilly Lily, but that's just because I want to max her out and I want to see what she can do. So that's my 2 cents on it. Do as I say, not as I do. Unless you're completely insane. Like, comment, share all the good stuff, and I'll be back with more Danmachi for you guys really soon.